Welcome to the Ugly Truth Sideshow, where we will be discussing reality TV.
Waka waka waka.
Okay, so really quick, we didn't drop the ball, but frankly, it was like a womp womp.
Yeah, I know.
So, the Golden Bachelorette, Joan chose Chalk.
Jimmy's least favorite guy.
He's so icky.
Yeah.
But apparently they're madly in love, and the last thing I read was that they are trying to find an apartment in New York City that they both can go to together while maintaining their home residences so they can be with their fam. Fine.
Yes.
I've heard nothing since. I have no idea.
I did. They've been doing the
Are
media
they doing
circuit.
social media? Okay.
Yeah. They're going around and doing podcast interviews and that
Are
kind
they
of
still
thing.
just madly obsessively in love
Yeah,
with
and the
each
funny
other?
thing is like and now that she's free to talk about everything.
Oh, yeah.
She's doing the same thing that Joey did with.
It was always Chalk from the beginning.
She's like with Kelsey. Yeah, she's like I knew it was him long ago.
Interesting.
She's like, but I couldn't. I had to keep going with the show.
Now, what was her problem with Pascal wanting to dip?
I think that was just part of the show.
Because
Well, she probably truly felt rejected. I'm sure. Yeah, but I don't think she was never. I don't think she was ever going to pick him.
I will say this: Pascal ended up ultimately being my favorite person on the show because he was just so real.
He was.
He's just like, I don't know if we're gonna keep doing this Golden Bachelor Bachelorette thing. He's like, you have to make it regional, man, because none of us want to travel across the country. We're not 20.
It's so true.
We have our family, we have our business, we have our house, we have our routine,
everything. Yeah,
and I think we kind of discussed that before, but it's like not wrong. Now the other thing that people are talking about is we need a Golden Bachelor, Golden Bachelorette cruise.
that'd be good.
Put them all on the cruise.
Well, now I don't know if this is just clickbait, but I keep seeing these things that they're choosing the what's the guy? It was his name David, the Chinese guy.
Oh, Charles?
Charles.
That's the next Bachelor?
Supposedly. But it could be clickbait because I'm like, that would be so boring. Like, why would they pick him?
I don't want
Because
that.
it was kind of like, like when they do Top Chef, they have, fan favorite. I think he was the fan favorite.
He was.
And because everybody had a soft spot for him.
Definitely, because he was clearly actively mourning the loss of his wife.
Exactly.
Like actively asking a doctor about her death. Oh my goodness.
That was terrible.
Was it not? It was so sad.
Yeah.
Do you think that Guy will bounce back from this rejection?
Oh, God, yes. I don't think Guy wants for women company.
I think Guy's fine.
I think he's fine.
I would say that he's probably top notch grade A beef.
Oh, for sure.
In Reno.
And there's no way
he's fine.
especially in Reno.
Yeah.
There's no way that this show has not been amazing for all of their social lives.
I would imagine Pascal says it's done nothing for him. He was
Well,
very
it's because
disappointed.
Come on. What is the guy probably wants to date like Princess Diana type women.
Fine.
Right?
Although, wait, I think I did read something. Well, first of all,
he's small and he's French, and I know he's rich and he's good looking and all of those things.
Well, that's fine. But I did hear that his ex was younger, which you called a million years ago. And then also, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was Jeff, the gorgeous black bald man.
The really hot one that did the Chippendales outfit. Yeah.
He is dating a very young woman. So I guess that's what's happening now.
Yeah, you know how many women probably slid into their DMs after this?
They're like, hi, daddy.
Women. Yes, of course.
Yes. So with that being said, mazel tov to Joan
it's a
and Chalk.
no lose situation for all of them.
I wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah,
I don't see it working out, but you never know. Maybe it will work. Maybe they actually will make it happen, and they will be together forever.
Teresa Nist has come out and talked about that and saying
she doesn't
like,
talk about much.
No, but she,
I wanted you to bring that. Please bring it up.
He has cancer.
He actually was
Gary.
Gary was looking into his health a month into their marriage.
Yes,
already they're like, something's up,
right?
And then by March, they weren't together anymore.
Yeah.
But he had been diagnosed with a blood cancer. And it sounds like it's going to be something that he will just live with. And
he'll outlive it.
Yes.
That's what they said. It's not going to cost him his life. He's not going to die from the cancer because he's already 70, whatever. Mm-hmm. But
Teresa came out. She's like, it had nothing to do with his cancer.
No, and I don't think it did necessarily. I think it was just like, look, we have this significant thing going on. I'm definitely not leaving my family now.
No.
I'm not moving. And she's like, well, neither am I. I still work, for God's sakes, so.
There's a couple of things with Teresa that make me question her desire to ever actually go all the way through with this.
She married him.
She did. But my point is that I feel like, I don't know if she felt like I felt like there was some pressure to have the wedding so quickly. And I don't think I think that was a mistake.
Yeah,
for both of them.
She said that the interview I saw about that. She said, "Look, I truly meant everything at the time. Yeah. I really, really did want to be married. I really wanted to be in love. All of those things were true." She goes, and I knew if I didn't do it right then, she goes, obviously the show was all for it.
Yes.
You know, the production was all for it, but we didn't have to.
Right.
She said, but I knew if I didn't do it that we wouldn't, or that we may never. She's like, so I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to give it the best chance I can for this to be real.
I thought that,
and then it just wasn't.
I just think that was a mistake on her part because
obviously had a prenup and everything.
There's a couple of things about Teresa that I felt were a little suspicious. I think Gary was exactly who he said he was. I don't want to hear. I know there was a lot of rumors about his ex-girlfriend saying he was terrible.
Oh, fuck her.
And that
woman scorned.
Yeah, and you know the portrayal of him was, I've been celibate since my wife died. Well, he's never once indicated that. He dated. He said he dated. He had relationships, and it was just never what he wanted. Yeah. And a lot of it was maybe he was dating a little younger because he's like, I'm retired. I want to play. I want to I want to travel. And they're like, well, I can't.
Yeah.
I gotta work. I gotta do stuff.
The truth of the matter is, successful, older, good-looking men are attractive to women, young women.
Well, and not only that, but everybody kept saying that he was a gold digger, and I'm like, Teresa's not rich. She's not rich.
Well, they're both successful.
They're successful, but they're saying, oh, she's separate, and I'm like,
bullshit.
Teresa is still working in her 60s. She's not rich.
No, I mean, and even if she is financially secure,
she is probably financially secure.
She is. There's no doubt about it. So is he. I mean,
that's my point.
No, and neither of these people were.
I don't think money had
millionaires or anything like that. You know what I mean? I mean, even not Pascal.
Joan
Chalk. There's been a lot of people have been doing a lot of digging into his past and like what's he all about. He's worth like $1 million, which that's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. You know what I mean?
But he will be able to live with his money. He's fine,
right? And
so Teresa,
that was bullshit.
One of the I'm not calling her a red flag, but one of the red flags was when they were interviewing her children, when they were going for like hometown visits during that time period. Her kids said, she lives near us. She comes over every day for dinner. She's obsessed with our children, and that's her life outside of work. We want her to have her own life. We're ready for her to...
Like, I don't want my mom at my house every day.
Yes. And all the other daughters, and they're like, yes, we want her to have her own life. We need her to move forward, you know. And because she's like, I just feel so secure with my family and my kids and my grandkids and I, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's wonderful. But you're not 90.
Right.
You're a young woman, youngish, older women. You're still in the workforce. You own your own home. All this other. Go have this adventure.
Right.
And they were like, please, 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 please. And then she's like, never mind. I just want to continue living the life I'm living.
Yeah.
That's what I think is what happened. And Gary's like, but I want to travel. I want to do the social media circuit. I want to do all the things.
It'll let's be a married couple.
It'll be so fun. And she's like, I don't like it. I don't like any of the places you want to live. And so she's like, I'm staying where I'm staying. And it's like, okay, it's not going to work out.
Right.
And she keeps saying no comment, no comment. Like, I'm not talking about this. And it's like, I don't think he did anything.
I don't think he did anything either.
I think she was like, this was a mistake. I never should have said yes.
Yeah. I mean, because she's like, this is my life, and I'm like, I'm really going to upend my entire life to marry this person that I've known for a month.
I mean, it would. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what she agreed to.
I just don't think she was committed as she should have been for that serious of a
And I do think, thing. And I want to say that I even read something about this where it's like when you're in this bubble, everything feels so romantic and it's so, and everybody's paying for everything.
Yeah.
And you're wearing amazing clothes and all the things. And then all of a sudden
hair and makeup and they're sending on romantic adventures.
Suddenly you're in LAX on your way home and you're like, oh shit,
with this person.
You're like, hi.
Well, and Joan and Chalk, I thought this was smart. They left the show and they went on a long vacation.
They did.
So they spent weeks together.
Yes.
And it looks to me, based on the pictures they posted on social media,
they loved it.
They were just like having major sex all the time, traveling, enjoying each other, really getting to know one another.
Great.
And they don't regret it,
I think that's wonderful.
I do too. I really do.
You know what? There's a paw for every slipper. He's not my jam, but I don't got to be with him.
He floated her boat for whatever reason.
Yep, and it worked out amazingly for them. So I hope it works out.
And even if it doesn't work out long term, my thing is like, what is the harm? None.
Ride the wave.
Exactly.
Enjoy it.
I would have.
I think their way of doing it is so much better. I fully think that getting getting married 4 weeks after meeting was a mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would have worked out or not, but who cares? I mean, they could have had fun.
Yeah, look at Joey and Kelsey. They're so
having
cute
a blast.
together. God, they are adorable. And it's been a year.
Yes, and
it's been over a year, and he is madly in love with her. And my God,
he was on Dancing with the Stars.
They're both doing great.
Yes.
I mean, that woman is stunning.
She's a beautiful girl.
So beautiful. But
yes.
yeah, I really wasn't sure what to expect with those two, like if they're going to make it or,
well, I know they've talked about how they just really get to know they're constantly getting to know each other. Because it does probably feel weird to choose someone and go, well, this is it. Is
basically choosing a stranger.
Is it real, or do we just like each other because we're both very good looking and young?
And like, we're on the show, and this is like so great. We're getting all this attention.
And we've been to every amazing destination.
They're promoting us as a couple, which is what they do.
So, yeah, I mean, a year is very admirable. I mean, and they're still going strong. I mean, there's a lot of them I've noticed, but when they're a little older, they do seem to last. Yeah. And they do end up getting married, which I think is great. I think you can only count like one hand how many couples, but so
not
what?
many.
That's fine.
That's why with the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette, I like those ones because I'm thinking, you know what, these people have literally nothing to lose.
I just think that they need to change up the format a bit for older people.
Agreed.
Like
we keep talking about that.
I think a 4-week cruise would be amazing.
Yeah, they got to stop putting. I don't want to sound like a broken record because we keep talking about this, but they got to stop trying to make them. Like put them in young situations.
I agree.
Like the prom and the fucking bowling, all that. No,
no one wants it.
Stop it.
It's so dumb.
God damn.
My daughter, Malia, she's discovered trash reality TV. Oh. She has not made her way up to the Housewives or Southern Charm or anything like that yet. She was hardcore into Love Island for a very long time. Love is Blind. And she messaged me a couple nights ago. Just 2 words. She's like, escaping the Amish. And I'm like, oh, you're watching it?
Is that because Connor's gone right now?
Yes.
She's got a lot of time on her hands.
Her and her roommate, they're BFFs, and they have always done this. Actually, Malia has always loved trash reality TV. We went to Hawaii for her graduation, her high school graduation. Her and her friend, when we weren't outside at the beach or whatever, they were in their room watching Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, God.
And they just watched season after season after season. They're like, we're watching The Bachelor season 2. And I'm like, why? She goes, it's awful.
And we love it.
And they love it. And so she's like, Mom, escaping the Amish. And I'm like, oh. I go, you're watching it? She goes, yeah, do you know what this is about? I go, I do know what this is about. She goes, it's riveting. I go, well, some of it's not real, I'm just letting you know. She goes, well, obviously. And I'm like, okay. I just want to make sure
as long as we know. Yeah, we know.
It's just like wrestling's not real, but they're actively hurting themselves.
For sure.
That's kind of the same
thing. Yeah.
Okay, so more reality tea. Some horrible person took covert photos of Anna Duggar leaving a movie theater the other day. She's gained, I'm not kidding, at least 50 pounds.
Oh, damn.
Initially, I'm looking at her going, well, is she pregnant? But he's her husband, what's his name? What's that guy's name?
Jared? No, I don't know.
Duggar.
I never watched those shows. Not one.
He is in prison for
child molestation or some shit.
For
child porn.
Yes. CSA, as they call it.
Yeah.
So she's on her own with their 6 or 7 children. And now apparently she's been breeding dogs to make money. She lives on the Duggar compound in a warehouse that's been converted into a home for her.
Oh, my God.
They can't even buy her a damn house.
For real.
But, in that culture, they blame her for his perversions.
Angry me.
It's so angry. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's put on a hefty amount of weight.
Poor thing.
No one is making fun of her or going good. It is difficult because she's had many opportunities to escape this lifestyle, and she refuses to do it because, frankly, the Duggar parents are very, very wealthy, and she doesn't have to work. Right. And she's got a lot of children.
Yes.
A lot of kids.
Oh, my God. 6, 7? That's crazy.
Yeah. Insane. And, her husband's imprisoned, and he's never going to work again.
No.
So they're basically sucking the teat of these people.
Of what's left. Yeah.
But anyway, I looked, I'm like, good God. I'm like, she looks pregnant, but she's not pregnant.
That's sad.
I know. But, somebody said, well, people stress eat. They don't, they can't.
Well, maybe the fact that she's not on TV anymore,
well, well, and that's the other thing. It's like, when you're in that religion that they're in, women are not just encouraged, but they're really expected to stay sexually attractive forever.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to. And I said, it's amazing. You know, and
she's probably free.
We all know women who eat to hide behind their obesity so they don't have to address.
That's true.
Certain things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a way of hiding.
For sure.
I think
that's for sure.
That might be part of it. They're like, clearly she's not handling it well.
Yeah.
Because she's unhealthy. And I'm like, well, I mean, you know, considering what that poor woman's been through.
The thing is like, it's hard for me to think, to assume that somebody's not healthy.
I don't mean physically.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And I'm not saying that, I'm not even talking about this, but like for me, I struggle with my weight. I barely eat. There's nothing, anything I put in my body turns into fat.
Not to mention she's had so many kids. Maybe her hormones are out of whack.
Right? There's just so many reasons why
she
women
might have
gain
like a
weight.
thyroid issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fair because...
First of all, I have no respect for these photos. Let me just tell you right now. I don't think that's appropriate to take pictures of someone coming out of a theater. It's so mean. It's so mean. It's not like she's sitting in an interview talking.
They do it to all the celebrities, actually. You know, they always try to find them in a compromising position.
Worst angles. It's like, did my husband take these photos?
Exactly.
Because he just does not know how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they do that to them, and it's like, you know, because God forbid they're normal human beings when they're not on the screen. You know what I mean?
Or they're not sitting properly or dressed properly.
Or having filters or all the things.
I am with you on the sense that I'm a little leaning towards, I'm not necessarily leaning towards stress eating, but more possible hormone levels.
Could be.
Because when Jana got married, which was over the summer, she didn't look like that. She literally looked like herself.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if maybe something happened.
I don't know. But and then the other thing is like, you know, I never underestimate that women who are married to abusive men. And trust me, if he's being abusive to children, he's being abusive in other parts of his life. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then they're gone. And that, you know, initially she's like, oh, I'm sad. I'm going to stand by my husband. Now he's been gone for a hot minute and he's not coming back. And maybe she's relaxing, you know what I mean?
Finally, for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Because I'm sorry, you know, I just don't think people can appreciate, not all people, some people can, the amount of work that women do every single day of their life, 24 hours a day. I don't care what your situation is. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, we have to do everything 10 times harder, better, faster. We literally keep the world running.
It's true.
And it is exhausting.
And if you get 5 seconds to not...
Honest to God, it's exhausting. Honestly,
I was reading something, because, you know, I love history.
I know.
And I was reading something about how this woman follows trends historically. And she said, right now, being thin is cheap and easy for everybody. You can get Ozempic, you can go to a gym, there's a lot of ways for the normal people to be Hollywood thin.
Really?
Just like when people started getting veneers and coloring their hair and getting spray tans, that was all stuff that only celebrities could afford.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they marketed it to normal people, and now everybody has it.
Yeah.
And now you'll see people being celebrated for not fixing their teeth or not straightening their hair or having a butt or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're like, historically speaking, back in the old days, the very rich people were the only ones that had seasonings. Poor people couldn't afford it.
We didn't have salt.
Nothing. And then they went and raped and pillaged all these countries, took their vanilla and their nutmeg and all that shit, and it was readily available, super cheap. Poor people were eating like kings. And the kings said, I don't like that. So they stopped seasoning their food. Literally.
Oh, God, to make it trendy?
Yes. It was not cool to be tan for a long time.
Yeah, I know the pasty white thing was a big...
Because
and so was being voluptuous.
Being Rubenesque and pale was the thing.
Yeah.
Because poor people were working, so they were underfed, malnourished, and tan because they were outside all the time.
Right.
And then sometime in the 70s, being tan and having curves became the thing. And so they're like, now we're trying to figure out what's going to be the trend that the elite are going to have that the poors can't have.
So that they can make the distinction.
They're not going to have obesity because that's not it.
No.
But what will it be physically? They will do something.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I wonder what it is.
Well, I mean, you know what? Now that you say that, it's true. I mean, think we went through the grunge rock phase where it was cool to be dirty and have your hair be greasy and like your clothes didn't match. It, you know, I mean, and
we all wanted Eddie Vedder,
right?
I still do, but that's
and Kurt
that's a different
Cobain.
show.
Yeah, like don't shower for a week, you sexy beast. You know, I mean,
I love your musk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz doesn't shave her armpits.
Oh, no.
Or use deodorant.
Julia Roberts.
Oh, she doesn't either?
No. Anyway, so yeah, poor Anna Duggar is clearly wasn't meant to be photographed.
Yeah.
But she was, and now we're all talking about it. And then the other thing that's going on in reality TV is Cody and Robin Brown have bought a new $2 million home.
I read about that.
And it's equally as atrocious as the first one. They finally sold that one.
Is it as atrocious as Robin's face?
No, it's less atrocious than that. But it appears it's horse property, so they're going to I think they're going to do something with horses.
Okay.
Cody was seen at a gun show. I
saw that.
Did you see the little tendrils that were
I
hanging
did,
from his dome?
He has like no hair anymore.
He's bald.
But why is he sticking to this?
He's so bald, Stephanie, that it's shiny. And then there's these 2 strands of curls that hang over it.
He's just so disgusting to me.
Dude, just shave.
I know.
He's never just going accept it or get implants. Do you know how many people are doing that now? It's a very normal thing.
I mean, he must have you not saved a penny in all the years you've been doing this damn show?
Funny that you say that. His daughter Maddie is doing a podcast with her friend right now.
Yeah.
I haven't really listened to it.
I haven't listened to it either, but I've seen clips.
I've seen clips. And all she says is this. She goes, "My mom is the least offender, but when these people get a dime in their pocket, they don't think about saving. They spend it immediately." She goes, on top of it, she goes, "If you haven't noticed, they're all into get-rich-quick schemes." And that hasn't changed. It has not changed.
Well, who's her mom?
Janelle. Janelle is pretty good with money, she said. But the other ones, they spend it before they barely hits their bank account.
Yeah, I bet.
And
I believe it.
Yeah, well, look at them. I mean,
well, Christine is not, I don't know.
Well, she's more beholden to another husband now who's probably like, "Yo, you gotta stop with the trinkets."
Well,
man.
they're just living a normal life now.
Just normal.
Like
I mean, they do own a home. They have an Airbnb that they have, but I think he had that. Yeah. So hopefully she's learning a little bit, but she still does that MLM shit.
She does.
I'm like, stop it already. I can't.
Well, maybe it's an easy money quick grab. You know what I mean? Like they pay her.
That's Maddie's point.
Yeah.
She's like, there's no such thing as working toward anything. It is about how fast can we make the money?
What's the next deal?
And how fast can we spend it?
Yeah.
That is their goal because no one taught them. No one ever taught them how to manage money.
Yeah, but they've been doing it for so long. Come on.
Maddie is married to a guy whose family does not spend money. They put everything in savings. They spend nothing. And she's like, so it went from one extreme to another. Oh. So now it's a matter of balance. Because she's pregnant again. They're going to have another child that's 4. They have 4 kids.
Good Lord.
They live in North Carolina, I think. And amazing property, beautiful home. I mean, she's happy as a clam.
Yeah, good for her.
I'm so happy for her. Actually, I'm happy for a lot of the adult children. Unfortunately, they do not have relationships with Cody.
Well, however many kids they have 13. Is a lot. That was all? I thought it was more than that.
Well, I'm not including Robin's children.
No, not Robin's kids.
I think they have 18 total. If you include Robin's kids, because Robin has 5. So 13.
I know we talk about not bashing women. I don't know what it is about her that still
She looks like our stepmother. You and I both know that's what it is. Plus, she's terrible.
She is terrible. I don't bash her for being a woman.
Cody's worse.
Yeah,
he's the problem.
And she's never going to divorce him, so she's just always
Everybody
gonna be
thinks
terrible.
That she will. Apparently, there's a snippet in one of the shows where he's concerned that she will leave him for another man. As if there's a line out the door for this woman. I don't know. I mean, I know nothing about their life.
No. I can't even think of another Mormon that would want her. I mean,
it is quite possible that there are men who want to rescue her, but I highly doubt it.
God.
Highly doubt it.
No.
Anyway, all right. Well, I can't think of any more reality than that.
No, we were talking about that. There's nothing to watch right now. No. The only thing I know is that Top Chef Canada doesn't come out till March.
Oh God, okay.
Which seems like forever away, even though it'll go really fast because it's already almost January. You know,
my daughter's trying to get me to watch Love Island. She's begging me to watch it. And I'm like, please don't make me watch it.
Well, if you watch it and it's good, tell me. But no.
Stephanie, I can't even get into the Real Housewives.
Other than that, there's just nothing like tantalizing right now. I just cannot find anything that I really want to watch.
I'm just really struggling. And sometimes, things tend to go in cycles where, some really great. I just think they need to start changing the format of some of these reality shows.
I agree.
Like I saw Daryl and I were just chilling on the couch. and an extra long promo for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City came on.
Oh.
And I was kind of watching it. First of all, everybody looks the same. Everybody looks exactly the same. And I'm so
bored. They look like glamour shot people,
It's over the top.
It's too much.
Too much makeup.
And I can't, you know what, I'm really struggling, and I don't normally take political... But I'm struggling with Andy.
Oh, really?
Yes, because he really loves to capitalize on exploiting women in the worst possible way.
I am firmly convinced that he hates women.
Exactly.
And I think all of these shows make him feel good.
I totally agree. And
too.
so the more I watch it and the more I learn about him.
He's not my favorite.
I just can't with him.
I'm not a huge fan of Andy.
He wants to be in this inclusive, diverse club of, we all love everybody, nobody judges anyone.
But he doesn't like anyone.
But he fucking hates everyone. He's a coke addict.
Yeah.
He's raising these two children to be women haters.
Yeah.
And
Just because he's gay doesn't mean he can't be an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And he, all the women who are close to him basically have to kiss his ass.
I'm not into that
to
at
stay
all.
in good graces.
No.
Because they want him to keep hiring
Right.
them, and he pays Bravo pays them a shit ton of money to do these shows.
I know.
Because it destroys their lives, it destroys their families, their marriages, their careers, everything.
I'll be honest, Stephanie, I never thought in a gajillion years that Mauricio and Kyle would break up.
Honest to God.
I really didn't. And now they've completely fallen apart.
And what is she? She went
she was a child actress for 5 minutes.
I get it, but at the same time, now she's suddenly questioning her sexuality.
Right.
And look,
I don't even think she is. I think it's for the show.
I do too, to be honest. I hope that's what it is. And it's not because I care one way or the other what her sexuality is. It's not that. But I mean, I just feel like these women, they get to a point to where they're so scrambled about what's real anymore, that they don't even know who they are.
I know.
And I'm like, I can't with this, and I'm like, and I'm part of the problem because I watch it. Yes. So I mean, and then I guess like the more I watch it, the more I see it for what it is, and the less appealing it is for me.
I don't know. Well, you and I talked about this. I think it's been almost a year we talked about it, where it's getting to a point where the average viewer, maybe we're not the average viewer, but it seems like after a while, no one wants to see these bored, rich housewives fight about nothing.
Well, they're not even, and that's the thing, is like the show has morphed into, because almost all of them are divorced. None of them are married anymore. Dorit Kemsley and her husband are, after 13 years of marriage, are done. Mauricio and Kyle, all of them, they're all single now. None of them are married.
Because of the show.
Yes. And I'm like,
100%.
Okay, so we're not even watching housewives, quote unquote, anymore.
We're watching divorced women.
We're watching divorced women in tumultuous situations.
Cling to youth too, by the way.
Correct. I'm like, this isn't even, right? So
it's really hard.
I mean, and some of them are rich and some of them aren't. Now they're also starting to focus on the fact that a lot of their quote unquote being rich is just all bullshit. It's basically, we have to keep it up and make it look like we're rich, because otherwise our friends will disown us and we're not in social circles anymore. And like, who's really got money and who doesn't, and everybody's judging you.
I don't understand it. I have a hard time. I mean, the old episodes were good. They were so good because everybody wasn't fake yet. Right. They weren't hiding anything yet. And now they're like, okay, guys, what are we going to do this?
Well, now they've mastered the art of hiding
because and they just keep
what we're going to film and what we won't, and don't say that on camera, and
like this part, and then somebody will go, that was not meant for the show. Why did you say that?
Yeah, you said it and you knew you weren't supposed to say that on camera.
Yeah.
And it's like so we're not getting the real anything.
No,
we're getting what they want us to see.
Everything's just so shiny and glossy.
Like Kathy Hilton, like that woman has so many skeletons in her closet.
Oh, girl.
She opens her mouth and bones fly out. I mean,
I know.
There is nothing.
And is she really so dumb not to know?
No. Absolutely not.
No.
They have more money than God. I mean, she's probably got every contract perfectly in place about what can be aired and not.
Right. Oh, definitely. I was going to say, and then we'll end this.
Yeah.
Because we'll figure something out, and we'll come back with the sideshow again. The Hiltons, I didn't know this about them. I was listening to a podcast of all things, and they said, here's the interesting thing about the Hiltons. The original Hilton, back in the Gilded Age, made billions of dollars, right? But they made a practice of not passing on there was no inheritance. They were given seed money and they were given money and education and all the things. But when they died, nobody got their money.
Didn't they give it to like charity and
they
shit
give
like
it
that?
to charity.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you have the name and you have money.
Yeah.
You make your own billions.
Yeah.
So Kathy Hilton They did that real estate company.
Well, she married a Hilton. She wasn't a Hilton, but yes.
But her and her husband, Mr. Hilton, whoever that is, they made their money through real estate.
It's true. Well, I mean,
it also explains why Paris hustles.
Oh, absolutely.
She's not a socialite who was given billions of dollars. She made her money.
No. But that's true. She did. But yes. I mean,
I'm not saying. Okay, first of all, I'm not saying that they don't have money.
Okay, I'm like, well,
but when a billionaire dies and the family doesn't get billions,
right?
You go, that's interesting. Just like there are other very wealthy people.
What you call it? Tori Spelling, her and Candy.
That is just
right. So I wonder what that woman's going to do with that money when she dies. I guarantee you she ain't giving it to Tori.
That actually,
she will do something so terrible.
That hurts my brain.
It really does hurt me too.
Because honestly, why
let her struggle to the point that she has? If you
have to sell all her stuff, and I don't know.
I mean,
know why? I'll tell you why. Because it would be one thing if she was like the Hiltons, where they said, we're not giving you enough money to live, so you don't have to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
You have to hustle. And if it's not going to be acting, you got to figure it out. Go to school, whatever.
Yeah.
Figure it out. But they didn't do that. They treated her like a spoiled princess. And then suddenly they went, we don't like who you married. You're cut off.
Yeah.
And then her dad died. And now she's really cut off.
Yeah.
While her mom has 3 gift wrapping rooms.
Her dad did not do her any favors by being so unprepared. Like, he should have known. Like, look, if I die, he loved Tori. He loved her.
He should have made arrangements for her then.
He should have.
He didn't.
And it's funny because in my own personal life, I have someone who did that very thing, who had said, no matter what happens with their new life, their new wife, their new money, our child will be taken care of. And he's no fool because he knows that he will probably die first.
Sure.
And nobody's going to care about our daughter.
Right.
So you have to think about shit like that. You have to, and you're going to be dead. What does it matter?
No, you're
not going to be around to be sitting around looking at everybody and how the players are, playing.
100%. So anyway, so I was kind of impressed that the Hiltons are like, we don't have billions.
Yeah.
They might have millions.
Oh, they do.
But they don't, their legacy is their own to make.
That's true.
Which I found fascinating.
It is interesting. And honestly, the Hiltons that are alive don't own stock in, they may own stock, but they're not active running. They don't manage the Hilton brand anymore.
No, they don't.
So good for Paris. She's doing commercials for them now.
I like Paris.
But she probably did that. She did that on her own.
Yeah.
She's like, look, I'll help you sell these fucking hotels. People love me. I'm Paris Hilton. They think I'm a Hilton. I am a Hilton, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now she does these cute little where she has her dog get an adjoining room and everything. They're really cute commercials.
I actually really like Paris.
Yeah, and she's living her best life. She married some rich guy and they have 2 kids now, and you know what I mean? She's not hurting.
No, she's doing just fine. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody, and we will be back next year.
Bye.
Bye.
I know that's crazy.